Hey guys, today will be another ranking video, and this video is going to be of the top 10, my top 10 favorite watch brands that cost over $5,000. So this is going to be mostly very expensive brands. I've already done a video detailing the my top 10 watch brands that usually cost below $5,000. So like the more affordable luxury watch brands that I can actually buy. But these watch brands that I'm going to be going over in this video are mostly out of reach from me and most people, I'm guessing. These watches are mostly going to be in the $10,000 and above range, actually. But I say 5,000 because some of these watches can drop below 10,000, but mostly they're going to be over 10,000, actually. So yeah, these are going to be mostly expensive watches, and it's kind of more like a fantasy thing for me, right? It's like, what watch would I have if I had a million and $1 billion, right? Because a million doesn't actually get you much these days, does it? Let's say I was a multimillionaire or a billionaire. Okay, these would be the watch brands that I would kind of look at. Okay, all right. So I'm going to start off with an honorable mention, and that's going to be Urwerk. Urwerk is a Swiss watch company that was founded in the late 90s, I believe, and they make very interesting experimental designs. Yeah, so you can see like this from the shape here. They make these watches with the wandering hands movement, which is a very unique movement. That's typically something you would see on very expensive watches like this. So they have very interesting looking watches here. So the Earth Satellite collection, and then they have these Chronometry collection, very unique looking watches. We can take a look at all of them, and then the Earth Special Projects collection. So yeah, they've been a Swiss watchmaker since 1997 in Geneva. Geneva is kind of one of the centers of watchmaking in the world. Take a look at their satellite collection. Yeah, like you can just see how unique they look. Very unique looking watches. Um, Again, I'm not sure how often I would wear these. I think that's why this is not on the list. I just want to give Urwerk a mention because they make such unique watches. I like Richard Mille as well. Richard Mille is also another one that makes kind of interesting watches. But yeah, Urwerk would probably be my pick for yeah, for the watches that look like the most unique, I guess. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. The Chronometry. Yeah, this is the chronographs, I guess, their version of chronographs, and the special projects, which is really cool actually. It has like these ticker, like this watch has like this automatic ticker design, I guess. That's really, it's pretty interesting. We can take a look at the 112. Pretty much, this is something unique to Urwerk. Yeah, this very unique tape rotating design. You look at the ooh, that's night mode. Okay, yep, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the gears automatically rotate and stuff, and it's all done in kind of like an analog way, which is really interesting. But yeah, these watches, they cost tens of thousands of dollars. I think it might be even six figures actually. So yeah, very, very expensive stuff that I'll never be able to afford. But hey, that's why I have this video of watches that I can't really afford. But it's just kind of like fantasy watches, you know. Well, yeah, so the other brands I also want to compare to Urwerk is Frank Mueller and Richard Mille, which I think I already said a bit before. Yeah, so those brands also make some really interesting looking watches, really cool looking ones. But I think Urwerk even more so, especially because of the special projects collection. Yeah, this stuff is really really cool. Really don't see anyone else make it. But I have seen like other brands with like designs like this one, for example. Yeah, so yeah, Frank Mueller and Richard Mille do make some designs kind of like that. Not exactly, but kind of like that. But the special projects, especially with that taper, like ticker tape wheel or something like this one, yeah, this is only something that could have been made by Urwerk. So that's why I included Urwerk in my special mention. But do want to talk about a little bit about Richard Mille, Frank Mueller, these other brands too, because obviously they do cool stuff as well. I just think the Urwerk is a little bit more interesting than even those brands, for me, anyways. Alright, so I have another honorable mention. I was originally going to have one, but then I did two for my other videos, so I figure I'll just do two for this video as well. That's Jacob & Co. Jacob & Co. is another very, very expensive watch brand that makes all their watches to order, basically, like they're handmade for just very specific people. Yeah, they're made pretty much exclusively for rich people. So these watches cost like six figures. Very, very expensive. As you can see from this little movie here, their watches are usually very eye-catching, very interesting. So you can take a look here. Yeah, I saw some of their watches on Instagram, and I was like, wow, it's incredible. Like they're basically works of art. Now, I don't know if I would ever wear these watches actually, but you know, as a work of art, yeah. I mean, Jacob & Co. definitely have a lot of watches that you would probably consider works of art. It's pretty much what they are. I mean, they look insane. What can I say? No other watches really look like this. This one I think is based on the universe. I think they have one that based on the solar system. Yeah, like that's the Earth. And then you have different planets rotating around the Earth, and it's all done with mechanical like mechanical movements. That's what's insane about it. It's done with mechanical movements, not like a quartz movement or anything. So they're pretty insane stuff. Yeah, the Chiron is another one. Yeah, I think they did a Bugatti one as well. Yeah, they did like a Bugatti one with like, this is a double tourbillon, I think. Yeah, double tourbillon. Uh, they did all these really crazy, crazy timepieces. I think they did one of The Godfather. This one is Alec, I think. Whoa, they put like a figurine inside there. Yeah. So they did one with here it is, The Godfather. Yeah, where he actually has a music box inside of it. This is the one they did with Bugatti. It looks like yeah, the Bugatti Chiron. It looks like a Bugatti watch. This is the one they did with Batman. It's a double tourbillon. They do insane stuff. So again, never be able to afford any of these watches. Just taking a look would be fun. But anyways, not on my list. I just wanted to mention it. These Urwerk and Jacob aren't really on my list because they're, even if I had the money to buy these, they would probably just be sitting in a display. Like I don't think I would ever wear these because like they're insane. Like they're not practical to be wearing. Yeah, they're not practical. They're just like for display, basically. Anyways, that's why they're honorable mentions. So I had to mention them because they look really freaking cool. All right, number 10 on my list is Vacheron Constantin. And actually, this is the only member of the big three, the Trinity. People call this the Trinity. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're the three most renowned or something. But Vacheron, Patek Philippe, and Audemars Piguet are the big three. And Vacheron is honestly my favorite out of these three. I don't have Patek on my list. Sorry, guys. I like Vacheron actually better. It is the oldest of the three. In fact, it's one of the oldest watches in the world. Vacheron was started, I think, in the mid-1700s or late 1700s, 1770s or something like that. The only watch brand that I know of that predates Vacheron is Blancpain, which didn't quite make this list either. Blancpain, I think, is the only watch brand that would predate this one. I think that was 1730s is when Blancpain was started. Vacheron, I think, comes from the 1770s. But anyways, they made watches for Napoleon, for Marie Antoinette. That tells you how old this watch brand is. So yeah, Vacheron Constantin dates back a very long time. Vacheron, compared to Patek Philippe and to Audemars Piguet especially, yeah, they tend to make watches that are, yeah, they're a little bit more conservative in a way, but they're also more dressy. So I like them, they're more dressy, and they make very limited pieces. Actually, they're more limited than Audemars or Patek. So take a look at their tourbillon. They're well known for their tourbillons. So take a look at the tourbillons. So yeah, this is a chronograph collection here. Obviously, all these watches are very expensive. This is tens of thousands of dollars because it's a Vacheron, maybe even six figures. I actually don't know how much it costs, but yeah, probably really expensive. Yeah, just very classy looking watches, and yeah, they're known for having their tourbillon designs here. See, they have like this little like fleur. I don't know if it's a cross, I guess. Yeah, they have the cross design. Yes, because their little symbol, that's their icon here is a crown. So they have their crown design in their tourbillons. So Vacheron's known for their tourbillon designs. And then, you see, they have a moon phase retrograde. design right there, another tourbillon design. But yeah, they look rather conservative compared to Patex and Audemars, but I still like them the best. Just because they have so much history, and yeah, I do like tourbillons a lot. So Vacheron is really like, if you're going for a tourbillon, you go for a Vacheron, right? Patex, I mean, they have tourbillons, I think, but they're not really known for them. And then Audemars doesn't really have tourbillons. Audemars is basically known for their royal oak. That's pretty much what they're famous for. But yeah, Vacheron is known for their tourbillons, and definitely one of the top tourbillon makers in the world. So that's number 10. Number 9 is going to be Glashütte Original, which is actually probably one of the more affordable watch brands on this list. Glashüttes are usually around 10,000, I think. So yeah, they could go under 10,000 sometimes, but I'd say they're around 10,000 mostly. I'm a big fan. Actually, I don't know what this model is. This is a cool model with that little. You have a little heartbeat movement here, right? Yeah, your heartbeat movement right there in a very unique, the balance wheel in a very unique location, actually. And then you have the date indicator right here. So, by the way, the Vacheron's Switzerland, obviously. But Glashütte Original, as the name would probably tell you, is from Germany. Glashütte is a very well-known German watchmaking town. A lot of German watch companies are there. So Glashütte Original also comes from there since 1845, actually. And this one's pretty cool. The Panomatic Inverse, that's a cool one. I like all their Panomatic stuff, but especially the Panomatic Lunar, which is their moon phase model. And then a lot of their designs, they basically like this German design. I find like it's very interesting. I really like this kind of German design. You see it in Lange watches a lot, and you also see it in Glashütte Originals. So yeah, I do like Glashütte Originals designs. Let's take a look at this Panomatic Inverse. Really cool looking watch. Limited 25 pieces. I'm guessing this is one of their most expensive watches then, if it's limited to only 25 pieces. It looks really cool. Yeah, I'd like this little like circle with a subcircle with a date right here with a balance wheel there. Obviously, really cool design, and I would definitely wear this. If I had the money to buy something like this. Yeah, this is the Panomatic Lunar, one of my favorite models from them, with the moon phase in the corner right here, but it's very distinctive. And then this date indicator here. So it's kind of like they took Lange's design and made it their own, I guess, and they made it more affordable too. I mean, compared to Lange, it's affordable. Yeah, it's still unaffordable for me, but I think it's at least within reach to some people, because it's basically at the price of Rolex, some Omegas. Yes, Rolex and some Omegas probably is what Glashütte Original is competing against. And then, some people can't afford those. I can't, but some people can. So anyway, number 9. All right, number 8 is Grand Seiko. This is the only... Well, Grand Seiko is interesting because... Well, first of all, when people think of Grand Seiko, they probably think of Spring Drive, which is what they're really associated with for a lot of people. Spring Drive is basically their proprietary movement. Actually, technically, Creedor uses it too, but I don't want to get into Creedor. But yeah, Grand Seiko definitely has... this is the most highest end brand of Seiko for most people. And... yeah, I do like their Spring Drive movement. Let's see, we have... Let's take a look at their actual Spring Drive stuff. So yeah, something like this. This is really cool. The dial is inspired by cherry blossoms, Japanese cherry blossoms. So of course, Grand Seiko is Japanese, and they was launched in 1967. So I think Grand Seiko dates back to the 60s, I believe. King Seiko is another one that dates back, I think, to the 50s. But yeah, definitely goes back to that time. And Grand Seiko has a Zaratsu polishing. It's a bit of a different polishing than other watches, but Grand Seiko is well known for having really good fit and finish, for having the Spring Drive movement. So Spring Drive movement, by the way, is unique to Grand Seiko, like I said, and basically it's using a mechanical quartz movement, and it's kind of a hybrid movement. So it uses the mechanics of a mainspring like a mechanical watch would, but then it's also powered by quartz. So you basically have, at the end, you have a very accurate watch. It's more accurate than any other mechanical watch, because mechanical watches are normally not that accurate. Quartz watches are very accurate, but the thing about quartz watches is their ticking is like very staggered, like this, like it ticks like this. Quartz watches, mechanical watches have like a smoother tick, like this. It goes like this, and then the spring drive is very smooth. It just like sweeps. It has a very unique sweeping movement, and it can do this because of that unique mechanical quartz movement that they have, and only Grand Seiko has this. They're able to keep that movement very, very smooth. So anyways, it's their proprietary technology. That's what Grand Seiko is known for. I really like Grand Seiko, especially their dials. I think the actual dial design itself is not that interesting, honestly. Like, Grand Seiko to me is like, their dial design is very conservative. Like, it's very, it's kind of bland, and conservative. I think that's why Grand Seiko's not higher. It's only number 8 on my list, because honestly, their dial design is pretty generic looking. It's just got like a date and index mark or whatever. The thing that I pay attention to with Grand Seiko is the spring drive and the dial. So the dial that you see here, really cool dial. Yeah, Grand Seiko's dial is always very interesting and unique. I actually like their Mount Iwate the most, but they don't have it here. And also their C1, the one that's inspired by the waves of the ocean. For some reason, I don't think they have it on their website here. But yeah, their dials have always been very unique to me. Is it? So let's take a look at this one actually. Yeah, they have one that's inspired by like the waves of the sea, and you can see that in the dial. And the Mount Iwate one is almost like a snowflake, but it's like a different kind of snowflake. It's like a special kind of snowflake version. But anyways, all of Grand Seiko's dials are very cool, and then the spring drive movement is obviously very unique to them. So, anyways, they're not higher because I think they could be doing more with this dial design. I think they can make it look more interesting. But then for the technology and dial, that's why I still have to have it on this list. All right, number 7 is another Japanese watch company, Minase, and Minase is even more. It's actually more limited than Grand Seiko is. Grand Seiko is actually quite limited. It's actually more limited than Patek is. Patek makes like 50,000 watches a year. Rolex makes millions a year. Grand Seiko makes probably like a few, like, yeah, probably around like 10,000. Let's just say 10,000. Not as much as Patek though. Minase, however, makes about 500 a year. So they're very, very limited. All handmade in Japan. And this is a Japanese company I only heard about recently, but I really like it. Like their designs a lot. And they also use the Zaratsu polishing technique, just like with Grand Seiko. So yeah, that's and this is, yeah, it's all handmade, of course, and of course you have the Japanese craftsmanship, which you expect. So this design is pretty interesting. This Divido Steel Collection, that's a very cool dial. So the thing about Japanese watches is they focus on the dials a lot, and this is for like most Japanese watches. I find like Orients or Citizens, Seiko Prestige, yeah, Corona Tokyo's, like they all focus on the dial a lot. And yeah, and this one too, Minase, right? Like you can see how unique that dial is. Very, very cool. Um, yeah, Divido steel. Let's take a look at this color here. Inspired by Japanese three-dimensional puzzle. And it's using a Swiss movement. Well, I guess they're a small watch shop, so they can't they don't have enough resources to make their own movement. Yeah, Seiko, of course, is a bigger company. They can use their own movement. But I guess this is a small shop. So just like with Chrono Tokyo, they're a small shop. They have to be using more off the shelf movements. But yeah, that's a very cool dial. And then extra dials like this. Yeah, very interesting. And then this is their little date indicator, huh? It's using like one of those Yeah, it's one of those that showed like multiple inside like this little window frame. That's really cool. And the window collection is has a more unique shape to it. Yeah, more squarish shape, I guess. But yeah, I find Manase watch is really cool too. And this Windows Hakose Rose Gold, that's a really cool one as well. Yeah, all these can be customized, and I think they're probably all handmade for you when you order. So they're actually more exclusive than Grand Seiko is, and actually more exclusive than Corona is as well. 'Cause, yeah, they really only make a few hundred a year. I think probably up there with Hajime Asawaka's custom watches as well. He probably only makes like a couple a year, so really they're really limited and up there. Creedor as well. Actually, you can probably consider Creedor on that same level. But anyways, number 7 is Manase. They're very limited and very beautifully handcrafted, of course, as you would expect of a very high-end Japanese timepiece. All right. Number 6, I'm going with Jaeger LeCoultre. Jaeger LeCoultre JLC. This brand is one of the most innovative luxury watch brands in history. They've done a lot. You can just look up their historical achievements, but they date back to the 1800s, and yeah, they've done a ton of innovation over the years. I love a lot of their designs. They have a master ultra thin perpetual calendar design here. In my opinion, I actually prefer Jaeger LeCoultre to Patek. But that's just me. I know a lot of people love their Pateks, but I prefer JLC actually. Dual meter chronograph moon, and oh, look at this, a dual meter helio tourbillon. Oh, actually, we gotta take a look at that. This is their collections. Jaeger LeCoultre is well known for their Reverso. Their Reverso is this is kind of like a squarish watch, or actually it's a rectangular watch, but they can be reversed. So that's hence the name Reverso. They also have these other lines: Polaris, Master Control, Master Ultra Thin, the Dual Meter, Master Grand Tradition, and the Atmos, which is this is kind of their one of a kind clock that you probably cannot really get. Okay, so yeah, this is oh, I really like this one. Yeah, this like rotating 360-degree like 3D tourbillon. Oh man, this is a really awesome design. So yeah, you have the main clock here, I guess, with the date, and then you have the day here, which also shows you the moon phase, and then you have the month here, which also shows you the year. So this is a perpetual calendar, but it also has a 360-degree rotating tourbillon here. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. This watch probably costs, oh, I don't know, 6 figures probably, I'm guessing. Triple axis tourbillon, yeah. This has a triple axis tourbillon and a perpetual calendar. It's all powered by mechanical movement. That's amazing. Yep, so, wow. Probably will never be able to even think about affording this, but anyways, that's what this video is about. It's about fantasy fulfillment. So, anyways, yeah, this is a JLC is they're a brand that dates back, hundreds of years to the back of the day. They actually did a whole bunch of a lot of different innovations here. To me, they're one of the most important Swiss watchmaking companies. Yeah, that's a really beautiful looking watch. Oh, what can I say? Yearly limited edition, 20 pieces. Okay, well. I'm guessing it's going to be 6 figures for this. Not even look at the price. And then Reverso is basically what the name implies. You can just take it out and reverse it on your wrist. They're generally at least $10,000. So Jaeger LeCoultre, like they definitely have more affordable timepieces, like in the sense that they will go like around $10,000, which I guess is affordable for brands like this. Yeah, it's a very Art Deco inspired design, which I like. This one, the one that they're showing is just a very basic Reverso, but they have other ones where they have another watch or another clock on the other side. So they have more advanced Reversos as well. So yeah, you can engrave it, or there are more complicated Reversos where they have another clock on the other side. But yeah, Jaeger LeCoultre. one of my favorite Swiss watchmaking companies. And number 6. Right, number 5 is another very historic watchmaking company from Switzerland, Breguet. So Breguet dates back to the 1700s. They're just a little bit older than Vacheron, I think. Vacheron's still older, but they're just a little bit older. And yeah, they did make watches for Marie Antoinette, and founded by one of the most important watchmakers, Abraham Louis Breguet, who invented the tourbillon and many other watchmaking discoveries. So Breguet, also very, very cool. I think Breguet is very close to Jaeger-LeCoultre for me. These two are both very historic Swiss watchmaking companies, and Breguet has, yeah, I mean, look at this design. That's crazy, right? Yeah, Breguet is also known for introducing the Breguet numerals, which is what some other watchmakers use. So their way of putting numerals around the dial, that's their own style, because they call it Breguet numerals now. And they contribute a lot to watchmaking history. So just like with Jaeger-LeCoultre, they have a very long watchmaking history and a lot of really cool timepieces. So they have the traditional classique complications, Marine Type XX. Okay, let's take a look at the classique complications. Yeah. So this would be some designs I find pretty interesting with Breguet here. Okay, let's look at this one, 3797. This has a central bridge tourbillon, I think. Yeah, central bridge tourbillon. All these watches are obviously all very expensive, tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know. I don't actually even dare look up the prices of these. This obviously looks really insane. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool watches Breguet has. Actually, this one is a more this is a design I associate with Breguet. This type of design with the, I think this is a power reserve. Yeah, I think this is a power reserve indicator. This kind of power reserve indicator with this little angle thing, I associate this with the Breguet design. I think I see a lot of Breguet watches with this design on it, and then and yeah, on tourbillon here, of course, because you gotta have tourbillons in expensive watches. Yeah, it's all pretty insane designs here. Double tourbillon. They have a double tourbillon too with the dragon design. That's pretty amazing. Okay, well let's take a look. What is the price? Please contact one of our point of sale. You know it's expensive when they don't actually show you the price on the website. They say please contact. That's how you know it's you can't afford it. Oh man, this is a retrograde. Yeah, retrograde design here. Yeah, that's it. Really cool designs that they have. So, anyways, Breguet is my number 5 because they have such a big place in watchmaking history, and they also have really interesting designs for me. So, yep. Number 4, I'm gonna put Arnold and Son, another very important watchmaker. Another very important watchmaker, John Arnold, from England, actually. So I think this is actually now designed in Switzerland, I think. Don't think it would be in England because they don't have the facilities really. They would probably be using Switzerland, but probably British design maybe. But yeah, John Arnold is one of the most important watchmakers, along with Abraham Louis Breguet. So these two are very important. And Arnold and Son is created by him back in the 1700s. Again, very old watchmaking company, and yeah, this is also creating really cool looking watches, very expensive, cool looking watches, just like with Breguet, but not quite as like Breguet just has like really experimental stuff, as does Jaeger-LeCoultre. With Arnold and Son, it's a more classy looking, right? A little more like dress watch, very classy looking design, but still very cool. Right, you can see the dial, the little moon phase with the constellation here, very cool looking design, and they use a gold or platinum. Yeah, so yeah, some pretty cool looking designs here. Man, look at that! Look at these dials here. There's a perpetual moon with looks like a ray burst dial here. This one has a very cool finish on the dial here. Okay, yep. And then this one has they have different years for different zodiac signs. I guess this is year of the rabbit one, year of the tiger. I wonder if they have a year. Yeah, year of the dragon. That's my year, by the way. I'm a dragon. So yeah, they have a dragon one who would be limited to 8 pieces, single digits. Single digits. Okay. So yeah, probably I'm guessing it's like 100,000, at least six figures probably. Um, yeah, you got actual real gold on this watch. Um, yeah, this is oh yeah. Okay, actually it's not six figures. It's 57,000. Okay. My bad. I thought this was six figures. 57. It's only 57,000, guys. But anyways, limited to 8 pieces. That is quite limited. And me being Year of the Dragon, yeah, I guess if I had the money, I would definitely get this one. Looks like a keeper for sure. I would get the perpetual. I would get the blue version, the blue dial. I mean, there's a black dial one too. So the realistic moon, that's also something cool. So for moon phases, there's not a lot of watches that have this realistic looking moon. It's usually like a little circle. The ones that use kind of like a realistic looking moon are the one, my Fairer moon phase kind of has like a realistic-ish moon. And then the Mule Glashütte Teutonia watches, those moon phases also kind of have a realistic looking moon. And I forget some of the other brands. Christopher Ward, I think, might have one as well. But yeah, this definitely has a really cool moon phase, for sure. And the Luna Magna, let's take a look at this one. This also looks cool. So a moon alternates between light and dark as it moves through the phases. It's a 3D rotating moon. That's also really cool, of course. And then they have a Year of the Dragon edition. Yeah. Another one limited to 8 pieces. Again, really, really cool looking watch. This one's almost $80,000. Okay. Anyways, Arnold and Son. That's my number 4. I think this brand is just as important as Breguet. Not actually. This is not even as popular as Breguet. Breguet's not even that popular because it's like super high end. But you know, I have to put it on my list because this is a fantasy list. All right, number 2 is Moritz Grossman. Yeah, this is a. Let's see. Yeah, actually, right, number 3 is Moritz Grossman. They're a German company, also based in Glashütte, which is kind of the center of German watchmaking. Yeah, so all their watches are also really cool. You can take a look at some of the designs here. Really cool design, a galosh style in that one. This one's a more minimalistic looking design. This one is a world timer, really cool looking world timer. And yeah, you can see some of their designs here. Oh, we can take a look at some of their stuff. So we have some tourbillons here. Let's take a look at some of their tourbillon designs. Yeah, so you have pretty interesting looking design. So this is the thing, I like German watches, like, but the way they make it look minimalistic and also functional. So it's minimalistic and functional, not quite as flashy as some of the Swiss designs. Like we saw Jaeger LeCoultre and Breguet kind of being kind of crazy with their Swiss designs, but and then Urwerk obviously being kind of really crazy. But then Moritz Grossman, like this more like interesting minimalistic. But still functional and cool looking design here. Yeah, in a way that's when you saw the Glashütte original watches, you can kind of see that German watches just have a different design aesthetic. Their focus is different. Their focus is more on making it look very functional rather than just showing off. Like some of the Swiss brands that we saw are more like just showing off, right? But for German brands, they're more about just the functionality first rather than showing off. Showing off has come second to them. So for them, they want to make the watch functional and then show off. For Swiss watchmakers, it's more about like showing off and then functionality second. So I would say that's one of the main differences I find between German watchmakers and Swiss watchmakers. Yeah, German watches seem to be focused on the functionality first, and then Swiss watches more on just showing off first. But yeah, that's a lot of really cool designs here. Moritz Grossman. Moritz Grossman is not like one of the more really expensive companies here. It's definitely not as expensive as Arnold and Son or Breguet, but I would say it's around the $10,000 range to $20,000 range. So I guess around the same price competitive with Glashütte Original, more or less. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the ones here. Universe. So this is a world timer here, and then we have a central second. Yeah. This one, a large scale second is placed on the center of the dial. That's interesting. So this German minimalism will extend even further to like brands like Meistersinger, for example. If you look at Meistersinger, literally only has one hand on the entire dial. That's how simplistic they want to make it. So German watches always, almost to like a obsession. They want to focus on making it minimalistic and also still beautiful at the same time. You know, the Bauhaus type of designs you'll find in watches from Nomos or Junghans. But yeah, Moritz Grossman as well. As you can see, even though they flash, right? They're kind of showy, but not to the same degree as the Swiss watches that we saw. But that's kind of not a bad thing as well. I like to have this functional minimalism. So that's the thing I like about German watches. And of course, you have a lot of different interesting styles. So this one is actually the Central Second, right? Yeah, I mean, looks super minimalistic, right? So that's what German's known for. So yeah, Moritz Grossman doesn't show off the same way like the other brands did, but I still appreciate their design language. Still, I think this would be one of the top watches I would go for if I had a lot of money, which is what this video really is about. The watches I would buy if I had a lot of money. Anyways, number 3 is Moritz Grossman. Number 2 is Jacquet Droz, almost an opposite to Moritz Grossman. This is, again, another Swiss company that dates back to the 1700s that has really insane designs. Like this one, this Bon Jovi one, where, wow, it's just like, this is their album cover, I think. One of their album covers brought to life inside a watch case. And then this one is a Tourbillon ceramic skull. This one is, yeah. Anyways, you can see this one is a parrot repeater. It's a minute repeater in a pocket watch automaton. So, yeah, Jacquet Droz is really interesting because the original guy, I believe, was a big fan of making automatons. So clockwork. So clockwork was a thing back in the 1700s and 1800s in Europe. So they would make these like odd automaton pieces, like a clockwork, like animals or birds or whatever. And Jacquet Droz has a history of putting some of this, integrating some of this clockwork into their watches, which is really cool. So we took a look at their automata is what I'm interested in. So they have Rolling Stones automata. That's interesting. I'm actually really curious how this would work. So there's a Rolling Stones automata here. And yeah, oh my God, they even have all the instruments here. All in the amplifiers and the drums, the drum set, the instrument amplifiers. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's anyways, I don't see any other watchmaker that will be making this kind of stuff. That's $250,000, by the way, guys. You're very insanely expensive. This is Dragon Automation Sapphire. Well, that's cool. Kind of similar to what we saw with that Arnold and Son. But yeah, this is a. I'm guessing this Jacquet Droz is mostly 6-figure watches. So, bird repeater. This is one of my favorites from them. So it's a minute repeater, which means that after every minute, actually after every hour or minute, it will just chime, and then the chime is like created by the bird automata here. So yeah, very very cool. So there's a minute repeater mechanism here, and then you have the bird that actually does a little chirp when that happens. So yeah, there's a minute repeater. Oh, yeah. So this is again going on from Jacquet Droz heritage as an automaton maker. Yeah, so he actually made these clockwork birds and stuff. He made all this different automaton. These are actually real automata, I believe, that he made. So that's really cool. Yeah, I think that's his actual automata that he made. Very realistic looking. All from mechanical parts too. It's crazy that that people did this back then with just mechanical parts. They made like all these robots essentially with 1700s era mechanical parts. It's cool. Tropical bird repeater is another one. There's so Jacquet Droz is known for making minute repeaters with automata in it. See, this is another one, very beautiful looking, and also it's functional. And the birds actually chirp when it hits that minute. Lovely butterfly automaton. This one with a butterfly. Yep. Yeah, very beautiful. This is how much? $130,000 almost. Yeah, so you guys know how expensive this stuff can cost. Parrot repeater, pocket watch. Looks like this. This is the pocket watch. So I think you would have to be just super rich if you want to have one of these as a pocket watch. Like that's not even that functional compared to a wristwatch. Magic Lotus automaton, interesting. So this one, Magic Lotus, also another really beautiful looking watch. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, these watches are all very beautiful and obviously very expensive. So I'll never be able to. I don't think I'll even get to look at one in my lifetime. But oh yeah, this one is bird is actually inside of um, this little area here, and I think it actually does a chirping. Yeah. So this bird is in a dome-shaped crystal, and he does like he physically rotates around and chirps and stuff because it's basically like a small little robot. It's like a small little automata. Really cool. I think it chirps like a real bird too. Really cool. Anyways, Jackie Draw is my number two. My number one is going to be brand I've always wanted to just have, and this is Erlangen and Sonne. They're a German brand. They date back to the 1800s from Glashütte, of course, they're another Glashütte brand. Yeah, I love Erlangen and Sonne. They're very limited. I would say they make probably a couple hundred timepieces a year, I'm guessing. Very expensive. So everything I said about Glashütte original basically applies to Erlangen, but more because Erlangen is even higher end brand than Glashütte original. They just, you know, decorate more, more complications, everything. Take a look at this one, the Perpetual Tourbillon. Yeah, take a look at the timepieces here. They have the Erlangen one, Zeitwerk, Saxonia. Yeah, pretty much my dream watch. Even though it's not necessarily the most expensive watch on my list. I mean, the Jackie Draw is probably going to be the most expensive on my list, but Erlangen, I mean, yeah, you're looking at probably Patek prices, so probably tens of thousands of dollars. I don't think that Erlangen necessarily goes into the six figures, but definitely tens of thousands of dollars is what you're looking at for Erlangen. And I just like the design of all their watches. They have that German minimalistic design, but they have that flair to it, right? That extra flair that looks just it's minimalistic, but it's very functional in a beautiful way, and I love that. Yeah, like this one, it's minimalistic, but it's still very functional and it's very beautiful, right? You have that little date dial done very nicely. You have power reserve. Seconds hand in a sub dial. You have a moon phase here. Just everything is laid out so nicely, and I love how German watches design it in this kind of way. And this one is a perpetual tourbillon. So actually, they have a tourbillon going on here as well. But they have the date here, and they have this is day and seconds, right? And they have the month right here, so it's a perpetual calendar. So they put a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I love how it doesn't look messy. So I like this like look a lot better than say Patek Philippe's. Patek Philippe makes a lot of perpetual calendars as well, but I like Erlangen's implementation better. I like their design better. So I can press this, and like, oh yeah, this is the kind of chronograph as well. So it's a chronograph and also a perpetual calendar. It's kind of cool, and I can reset it like that. Yeah, I mean they fit a lot of functionality onto this watch without it looking too messy. It's actually incredible. Like how many complications they have on here? They have like at least like 6 complications on here, and they fit it all onto a dial that doesn't look too messy. So that's pretty incredible. And it has a tourbillon in it. So I guess, yeah, probably 6 or 7 complications on this watch at least. Pretty amazing. And this is their moon phase watches, which again, I love how the simplicity of how they do it, and it looks also really awesome. Right, the date, moon phase, seconds, yeah, and they keep it functional. They don't put too much on the dial, but it still looks really, really good. It looks awesome. So, anyways, maybe I'm just a sucker for this type of design. It's an outsized date. Something that Glashütte Original, by the way, you can see how some of these designs are kind of similar to Glashütte Original. Just Glashütte Original is a lot cheaper, but that's because Elonghi puts more decorations and even more complications. So, yeah, this one is it using a Venturine. This is a Venturine dial. Yeah. So, anyways, that's pretty cool as well. They have like an Venturine dial there. Yeah, Elonghi, what can I say? I've always longed for an Elonghi watch. Yeah, the Saxonia is pretty popular, I think, in terms of... They're not like... They're known, like, by watch enthusiasts, but they're not, like... Not up to the level of a Patek or a Audemars, right? Not up to the level of an AP or a Patek Philippe. Like, Elonghi is not up to that level in terms of being wanted by watch enthusiasts. And I don't know why exactly, but I really long for a Elonghi, right? That's just me. Yeah, I think all the designs are so beautiful, so masterfully designed. There's just no way I can ever afford one. But Zeitwerk, here's another pretty amazing design in my opinion. Yeah, you can see the glossing on those subdials there. Yeah, really beautiful. Yeah, really beautiful. I'm gonna say I love all their designs. Anyways, Elonghi is my number one. It's a more wearable watch than the Jacques Joie. The Jacques Joie is like it's more for display. It's a piece of art, whereas the Elonghi is actually wearable. This is actually a watch I would buy and wear if I could afford it. I could settle for a Glashütte Original, but even the Glashütte Original is out of my budget, unfortunately. But yeah, Elonghi Sonet, that's my number one pick. I love all their designs. I love how beautiful and minimalistic and yet functional they make all the designs. They really are the epitome of German watchmaking. So, anyways, guys, that's my top 10 list of watches I cannot afford. Of watches over $5,000 or $10,000. So, anyways, I think the only thing is like the only watch that would be under the only watch that would necessarily be under $10,000 could be some Glashütte Originals and then Grand Seiko, because some Grand Seiko models are under 10,000. Actually, a lot of them are under 10,000. So I think these would be the only watch brands that could be under 10,000, but the rest are really over 10,000. So the only reason I titled this video over 5,000 is really because of Glashütte Original and Grand Seiko. Otherwise, they're mostly over 10,000. So, yeah. Oh, and Jaeger-LeCoultre as well. So JLC, they do have some models that go below 10K, but still for the most part, like most of their watches are still going to be quite expensive, and a lot of them are going to be over 10K. Especially the one that we were looking at. Yeah, any of their perpetual calendar stuff, a lot of their reversos, yeah, those are going to be over 10K mostly. They do have some models below 10, which is why the title of this video is over 5K. But just FYI, yeah. The majority of the watches in this video are actually over 10K. That's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Which watch brands would you pick that are very expensive? That's like a fantasy watch for you guys to buy if you had all the money in the world, you know. So I did one video which are watches I can actually afford, and then this watch is basically on watches I can dream of, dream of affording. So that's it. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, thanks for watching.